Have you ever wondered what came before money? Before the first coin was ever minted, before gold was ever weighed, humanity had already invented something far more powerful, something invisible yet incredibly binding: debt. It's a concept so fundamental that it didn't just shape our economies, it literally built our civilizations, but it also created a form of invisible chains that have bound us for millennia. Today, we're going to unravel the incredible story of debt, an invention that predates cash and has defined human history more than any king or empire. Let's travel back in time, way back, to ancient Mesopotamia, around 5,000 years ago. Forget busy marketplaces with people clinking coins. Picture a small farming village. Imagine a farmer named Enlil. His harvest was poor this year due to a drought. He and his family are facing starvation. What does he do? He can't just go to a store. Instead, he goes to his neighbor, Nana, whose fields did a bit better. Enlil asks for a few sacks of barley to get his family through the winter. Nana agrees, but not out of pure charity. She makes a note on a clay tablet. Enlil owes me 3 sacks of barley, to be repaid with interest after the next harvest. Right there, in that simple promise etched into clay, debt was born. This wasn't a financial transaction as we know it. It was a social one. It was a promise, a relationship, a measure of trust between two people. This system of "I owe you" was revolutionary. It allowed societies to function and grow in ways that simple bartering never could. Bartering has a huge problem called the double coincidence of wants. For a trade to happen, I have to want what you have, and you have to want what I have at the exact same time. If I have chickens but I need a new pot, and the potter doesn't want chickens, we're stuck. But with debt, this problem vanishes. The potter can give me a pot now, and I can promise to give him something he needs later, like a share of my future harvest or some other service. Suddenly, goods and services could flow freely. Communities could plan for the future, invest in bigger projects, and support each other through hard times. These early credit systems were the glue that held societies together. They were built on reputation and social bonds. Your word was literally your bond. These records of who owed what to whom were kept in temples, the administrative centers of early cities. Priests acted as the first bankers and accountants. They recorded these debts on clay tablets using cuneiform script. We've unearthed thousands of these tablets, and they give us an incredible window into daily life. They record loans for seeds, for livestock, even loans to cover the costs of a wedding. These tablets weren't just simple IOUs, they were legally binding contracts. They specified the amount, the interest rate, and the penalty for not paying. And the interest rates could be incredibly high. A common rate for a barley loan was 33.3% per year. For silver loans, it was often 20%. These weren't arbitrary numbers. They were standardized and enforced by the state. This is where the story takes a darker turn. What happens when you can't pay back your debt? For farmers like our friend Enlil, one bad harvest could lead to another. The interest would pile up, and soon he wouldn't just owe 3 sacks of barley. He'd owe 5, then 10. When he couldn't pay with grain, he'd have to offer something else: his land, his tools, his livestock. And if that wasn't enough, the final collateral was himself and his family. This is how debt slavery began. People who fell into debt could be forced to work for their creditors until the debt was paid off. In many cases, the debt was so large that it became a life sentence, passed down from one generation to the next. The invisible chain of debt became a very real, physical one. A system designed to help people survive was now trapping them in a cycle of servitude. The rulers of ancient Mesopotamia were aware of this problem. Widespread debt could lead to social unrest, abandoned fields, and a weakened kingdom. So they came up with a radical solution: the clean slate, or debt jubilee. Periodically, a new king would come to the throne and declare a general amnesty, canceling all consumer debts. The Akkadian word for this was Andurarum, meaning freedom. Imagine that, a nationwide announcement that your debts are forgiven. This wasn't an act of kindness, it was a pragmatic tool for maintaining social stability. It allowed families to reunite, farmers to return to their land, and the economy to reset. It was a way to prevent society from collapsing under the weight of its own credit system. These jubilees are mentioned in famous legal codes like the Code of Hammurabi. It was a recognition that while debt was essential, unchecked debt was destructive. As societies evolved, so did the nature of debt. With the invention of coinage around the 7th century BC, everything changed. Money, in the form of precious metal coins, provided a universal medium of exchange. It made transactions impersonal. You no longer needed a personal relationship or a clay tablet to trade. You just needed the right number of coins. This shift had a profound impact. On one hand, it supercharged commerce, leading to the rise of massive empires like Rome, with their vast trade networks and professional armies. Soldiers weren't paid in promises anymore. They were paid in cold, hard cash. But this shift also made debt more abstract and relentless. A debt in silver coins was not a social obligation to your neighbor. It was a cold, mathematical fact. There was no social relationship to appeal to, just a number that had to be paid. In the Roman Empire, debt was a central feature of life. The rich lent money to the poor at high interest rates, accumulating vast fortunes and political power. Many small farmers lost their land to wealthy creditors, leading to the creation of huge agricultural estates, or latifundia, worked by slaves and landless peasants. This massive inequality, fueled by debt, is considered by many historians to be a key factor in the eventual decline and fall of the Roman Empire. The social fabric frayed, the gap between the ultra-rich and the extremely poor grew too wide, and the system became unstable. The invisible chains of debt had once again proven strong enough to topple an empire. Looking back, the story of debt is a story of a powerful paradox. It's an invention that allows for trust, cooperation, and long-term planning, the very cornerstones of civilization. It enables us to build cities, fund explorations, and create technologies that would be impossible with simple barter. But it also creates hierarchies, inequality, and systems of exploitation. It can be a tool for mutual support or a weapon of subjugation. The history of debt is a constant struggle between these two faces of the same coin, a continuous negotiation between the promise of growth and the risk of bondage. From the clay tablets of Sumer to the digital ledgers of today's global financial system, the fundamental principles remain the same. We are still a society built on promises, a world running on credit. Understanding the deep history of debt helps us understand the world we live in now, its incredible triumphs and its persistent challenges. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time. It's a complex topic, but I think it's one of the most important stories in human history. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the concepts that shape our world. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is debt a force for good or evil? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious.